On YouTube, creators have come and gone, but none have made quite the online splash only to let the ripples fade away, like Seannanners.
Hello everyone, my name is Adam.
Oh my god! Just because you're the hidden doesn't make you God.
A little goofy, a little sneaky, a guy with a mad case of the giggles.
This is good. Adam, I'm not gonna sell you out, don't worry. I'm not.
For nearly a decade, Adam Paris Montoya, better known as Seannanners, put the funny in Funny Moments gameplay.
What is wrong with him? His head is on backwards.
Everything's perfect.
He was just a guy playing games, having one hell of a time. Though behind the scenes, little did we know that this roller coaster ride was about to come to a screeching halt. More than 2 years later, in a time when we needed him most, Seannanners vanished. This leaving fans like myself bewildered. What really happened? Well, make sure you're secure, keep your hands and arms in at all times, because to find the answers we seek, we have to go to the very beginning of this wild ride. YouTube changed the way we view everything, and gaming was no exception. But it was the creators who changed the way we view it as entertainment. Creators like Seannanners. 2.5 billion views later, it may not seem like it, but there was a time when Seannanners wasn't even Seannanners. In fact, there was a whole period where the internet wasn't on his mind at all. Over a decade ago, Montoya was crafting a very different future for himself, studying business at San Diego State University, but a suit and tie, not really Adam's style. Instead, shifting his focus to the world of filmmaking. In the late 2000s, graduating with a degree in television and film. Okay, cool, you're fresh out of college, the world is your oyster. One problem. Adam wasn't so geared up to join the workforce. A 9-to-5, not the most appealing attraction. So instead of finding stable employment, Adam decided to take a dive into freelance work filming events such as weddings. During this time, it was his ultimate goal to form a production company to create his own artistic endeavors. Though this idea, a bit of a pipe dream, ending up as a bust. In his words, you know, it gets tough when you're unemployed and you don't know what you're doing. A familiar place for many graduates. But you see, that's when something magical happened. Soon after this failed production company dream, something else caught Adam's gaze. The internet. Well, you know, not so much the internet as much as internet contests. From Rooster Teeth.
He got started because he did internet contests where he'd like register for stuff on the internet and do like thousands of contests over a month. He figured like people on the internet were too lazy to actually like complete the requirements for, and so he would just do them all.
His strategy was rewarded, eventually winning a chance to visit Rooster Teeth in Austin, Texas. And that's where Montoya discovered that video creation...
Hey, I don't think he said this is cool, I think he said this is way easier than I thought it was.
And so...
Hello everyone, my name is Seannanners.
Seannanners had arrived. But what is a Seannanners? Well, thanks to a wiki fandom, we can define a Seannanners as a guy who likes cats and video games. But if you're a true fan, you will know the lore behind the name. His soon-to-be pseudonym was actually quite an accident. While creating an account on Xbox Live, he wanted to go for the name Nanners, you know, playing on the term bananas. But just like everyone else trying to come up with what they think is a clever name, it was taken. Luckily though, Xbox has auto-suggestions, one of them being Seannanners. And it stuck. Gaming already one of his major passions. It was also becoming a big attraction somewhere else. YouTube. At the time, gaming was on an exponential upswing on the platform. Top dogs, Rooster Teeth, and Machinima, if not already soon to be household names. But you see, it wasn't gaming that changed the platform the most. It was the gamers and their commentary that in and of itself would create a whole new genre. Seannanners saw this and, without any honest ambition, said, you know, I can do that. And he did. Just a lot better than he thought he could. From COD to Minecraft to Prop Hunt, he made some memories.
Max, can you pretend like you're Morgan Freeman coming to kill me?
You couldn't trust him.
Now's the point in his video where he's biting his lower lip like a shithead.
But everybody loved him. From the moment Adam flipped on his camera, he was just a humble guy playing video games, happy that you were there to watch.
I apologize if you find it disappointing that I'm not an old man and or Bob Ross or your algebra teacher.
Little did he know that by sitting down in front of his Xbox, it would ultimately propel him to YouTube's most infamous. That's because here in 2009, things were only getting started. You know, it's all fun and games before, well, it becomes more than fun and games. Sure, playing games for fans is fun, but it doesn't really bring home the bacon. But when Adam realized that not only could YouTube be a fun hobby, but also a lucrative career, things began to change. And I quote, "Holy crap, you can make money at this?" But you see, to get paid back in the day, it was all about connections. Connections to YouTube networks. One in particular strikes a not so great accord in recent memory: Machinima. And it was no accident that 100,000 YouTube subscribers later, Machinima invited Adam to join their director's program. Okay, but what's in it for me?
And money buys food, and food is tasty.
Well, hot dog, sign me up. Like many others being partnered with Machinima, he began posting content on there. As time went on, his relationship got a little more serious. Going from partner to actual full-time Machinima employee, quickly becoming a segment producer at the company. Machinima now only an echo chamber of its former glory, hidden behind a mist of deceit and scandal. At the time, this was an opportunity that you could just not pass up. And so, it begins. Though now Adam making a viable career out of his passion, he had a ton of support, but not from everyone. His family, not so hot on the whole gamer life idea. Okay, understandably hesitant. YouTube is a rickety bridge at best, but for those who make it across, opportunity presents itself. And Adam was one of these people. Not an easy path for sure. He attempted several formats, including reviews, blogs, tips and tricks, but ultimately what made Seannanners above the rest weren't his reviews of games or his tips on gameplay. Fans didn't turn up for the game, at least not for long. It was his personality that stole the show. Montoya quickly becoming the aspiration for many a gaming commentator. One of the first to seriously popularize the funny moments genre of gameplay. But look, I'm getting ahead of myself. Here in 2010, while he was primarily focusing on entertainment, he also had a soft spot for education.
Hello everyone, my name is Seanners, and things are about to get sexual up in here. But
hey, I mean, they gotta learn sometime. Now gaming more than just a pastime, Adam was high as a kite. Even hosting his own shows at Machinima Respawn, such as, "Hello everyone, my name is Seannanners." Working with other YouTubers such as Mr Sark, Hutch, Chilledchaos, and Fwiz. These three amigos, inseparable.
We only need the two of us together.
if I could turn back time.
'Cause we got love.
As good as it was, after more than a year working at Machinima, Adam had another aspiration up his sleeve. As we approach the end of the Mayan calendar, while many were being consumed in this insane conspiracy, Adam's career had been booming, hitting 1 million subscribers. But it was also time for the closing of this Machinima chapter. Now focusing on his own path. But if you thought that this was the end, you would be massively mistaken. If there's one thing all of us can remember Seannanners for, it's his mastery of collaboration. From Sark to Captain Sparkles, Hutch to Gassymexican, even Markiplier, this is where his true genius shined. Hell, they even got Morgan Freeman.
I'm creeping around right now. I can smell you.
Yes, what do gamers smell like? Well, science doesn't have all the answers, but enthusiasts say it can be dumbed down to a combination of Doritos and Red Bull. If there was a greatest hits album to Adam's career, 2012 would bring a plethora of his most nostalgic tunes. Seannanners quickly becoming a household name in every kid's gaming room. There wasn't anyone else like him. He was uniquely Adam.
All right, so who are we thinking? Who's the traitor? You guys think? Because I'm all for just accusing people right now. I mean, it's because you can't get to me.
Really?
No.
So you are cheating.
I'm not cheating.
The term "never trust Nanners" becoming an inside joke amongst his community. Every single video just felt like it was you and the guys shooting the shit. That being said, Adam also didn't want to be pigeonholed, revealing to CNN that he saw himself not only as a gamer, but as an artist. To him, YouTube was not the final destination. It was a vehicle, one that he said he would never, ever leave. Or so we thought. With things going so well, it was time to up the ante. Adam teasing the idea of actually starting an in real life Call of Duty series that he would pitch to sponsors and hopefully have come out. Fans ignited with excitement. But after the initial concept being pitched, no word on the project. Though all in all, at this time in Adam's career, it was all about having a good time. Though the further we rode on this roller coaster ride, the more we would come to realize that this level of fun can't last forever. At the time, it was only upwards and onwards for Adam's career. His short-form funny moments content driving his channel up the charts, millions and millions of views. So again, it was time to get a little more creative. 2013 would usher in some new content, mainly the introduction of some animated series. Video game time with Seannanners. As the channel aged, you would begin to see less and less of his blog update content that was so familiar early on in the picture, and a hard focus on funny moments videos. What he was doing was working, and there was no signs of stopping. Firmly seated now on this Nanners coaster, we were only part way to the top of this inevitable drop. And in 2014, Adam began to yearn for something more. Back when Montoya started his YouTube career, the only real way of making any income was through something called an MCN. Something that over the years had gained a lot more negative publicity than good. MCNs reportedly taking advantage of their creators via the contracts signed. Adam wanted to change that. In partnership with 3 Black Dot, a company that was made up of former Machinima employees, joining forces with other YouTube creator Pro Syndicate, they decided to make their own network, Jetpak. The whole idea to create a corporation that actually empowers you, the creator. Sounds great, right? Needless to say, everyone was ecstatic. But as cool as this idea was, it left some of the audience a bit unsure of what they were actually offering. All of this though with good intentions. Now, however, when you go to the site, nothing. What happened? Well, we'll get to that later. This year, also seeing Seannanners branch out into another realm, game development, starting what would be his first PC game. And seriously, if you thought things could not go up from here, think again. Okay, so on any roller coaster ride, you are sure to have this momentary climax right before you enter inevitable freefall. The Nanners household was fine and dandy. He was uploading regularly, his projects becoming ever more ambitious, but at the end of the day, it was still just authentic Adam, and we loved it.
I will throw my babies at you!
Though it was again time to trudge into some unexplored territory. Maybe an animated web series. Paranormal Action Squad! Together with Vanos Gaming, Seannanners, and Mr Sark, partnering with Michael Rowe from Futurama fame as the writing coordinator, PAS aired on the site that can do no wrong, YouTube Red. Sort of like Ghostbusters, but instead of using proton packs to cap ghosts, they used
I'm ready to kill some ghosts, baby.
Though sadly, this series not being one to last. Vanos canceling it after season 1. Another addition to the YouTube Red graveyard. Even so, Adam's career, honestly, was still going great. His collaboration camaraderie, never better. Little did anyone foresee that this roller coaster was about to be completely cut off. 2017, a year that will live in infamy. If you were on YouTube at this time, you probably remember the adpocalypse. Gaming being given a bit of a backseat, rewarding other types of content over others. The times they were a-changin', and if you didn't follow, you would be left behind. As the year rolled to a close, Seannanners, who had maintained a very level career for the most part, now more than ever had to look at things from a more analytical view. Longer videos performed better, so no problem, there's enough Nanners to go around. But ad money just isn't enough to support yourself and a significant other, especially living in California. It was time to diversify income any way possible. But that's when everything changed. As 2018 came around, something with Seannanners wasn't quite right. Views were dropping, the regular uploads that we had become so accustomed to now becoming less and less frequent. His merch store closing, all of this leading to fan speculation. Was something behind the scenes going on that none of us could see? Seannanners reportedly getting more into real estate and remodeling and reselling homes, looking for alternative sources of income. The audience now getting used to the lack of uploads with as little as an update video to tell us what was going on. Things had changed, but none of us were expecting this. May 14th, 2018. This Seannanners ride coming to a screeching halt. A channel once gleaming with laughter, abruptly quieted. Since then, little to no updates, no social media responses. It wasn't that he left, it's that he didn't say goodbye. So where is Seannanners right now? Well, I'm not a stalker, but in some ways, he never actually left. In the last 30 days alone, deleting some 61 million views from his channel. And look, there's been a lot of speculation, but it was recently revealed on stream with Hutch what was really going on.
Why'd you stop making videos?
I wouldn't say I'm done. I just think there's a lot of life priorities. Initially, I was, working pretty much just in the way that most people work, just all the time. So I started looking heavily into real estate as a way to produce income. And then I realized I didn't really need too much of anything. Kind of on a journey to more minimalism. It's actually
living life in search of minimalism. Not throwing out the idea of never uploading again. But after a constant life of working, and more working, YouTube not being the landscape it once was, especially for gaming, Seannanners reminded us of what he said in that interview with CNN long ago. He's more than just a YouTuber. Though looking at all of his endeavors, one of them still sticks out. What happened to his multi-channel network, Jetpak? With such initial promise, after a few years or so working on the project, it seemed to have gone dark. According to my research, it's very possible that the project was put on some sort of eternal hold, or at the very least enveloped and rebranded as 3 Black Dot back on the site. But its status is somewhat unclear, leaving us really with more questions than answers. I think behind the scenes, there's more going on in his head than any of us really could have imagined, though not entirely closing off the web. Having collaborated with friends Hutch on several occasions on stream, the lack of his actual admittance to quitting YouTube forever does in fact leave the door open for an epic return. Whether on YouTube or Twitch, will it happen? Only Adam can make that decision. Either way, the moments he left us with thus far are far from forgettable. Remember, I'm Ryan, and I'll see you in the next video.